Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. Today we begin with an exclusive video from the set of The Mandalorian Season 3, courtesy of Bespin Bulletin. Now make sure you stay to the end of the video, because we've also got a casting update for the Acolyte. That's right, a new actor's been unveiled. So no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So back in March, Bespin Bulletin were able to locate a set for The Mandalorian Season 3 in El Dorado Park in Long Beach, California, and they saw multiple scenes play out in front of their eyes, but they were filming from afar. Now one of the scenes they captured on film is the one that we're talking about today, and it shows Bo-Katan facing off against a fellow helmetless Mandalorian. The Mandalorian she's fighting bears a resemblance to Woves, but they're not too sure if it's him. Personally, I think it is, but it's also worth noting the man behind her also looks like Axe Woves, so it's difficult to tell if she's fighting an ally or an enemy. They also say that though she's not in the video they posted, one of the actors in Mandalorian gear bears a resemblance to Sasha Banks, who of course played Koska Reeves, but they say they weren't able to get a good look at the actor, so they're not 100% sure. Now it is worth pointing out that Sasha Banks previously claimed in the fall of last year that she would not be returning to Star Wars, not in the Book of Boba Fett, nor in the third season of The Mandalorian, but as we know, actors in the galaxy far, far away have a tendency to lie to keep secrets of production, and Banks could be no different here. No matter what the case, what's going on in this video is very clear. Bo-Katan is facing off against a fellow Mandalorian, one who appears to be wearing night owl colours. One possible theory is that Axe Woves, Koska and the other Night Owls turned against Bo-Katan in between seasons 2 and 3, and this would explain why so much of the celebration footage shows Bo-Katan all alone. Alternatively, these Mandos are not Night Owls and from a different clan altogether, and this supports a different theory I talked about, that a Mandalorian civil war's gonna happen in season 3. This footage also backs up a lot of the information shared by Making Star Wars about Bo-Katan starting the season as an antagonist. By the end though, there is rumoured to be more of a togetherness between the clans, and if you remember, Making Star Wars said that there will be a ceremony, possibly Din Djarin's redemption, whereby one sequence depicts the armourer handing a torch to Bo-Katan, who's going to be sporting mythosaur armour. So let's wait and see how it plays out, but it's certainly very interesting. Now speaking of Bo-Katan, we have a new interview with Katee Sackhoff. She revealed what it's like to bring Bo-Katan into live action, having voiced the character for years before. This comes via Flickering Myth, and they say the following: "It's safe to say that Katee Sackhoff can be considered one of the queens of sci-fi, after starring in so many different sci-fi franchises, from her breakout role as Starbuck, Kara Thrace in Battlestar Galactica, to her role in Riddick and the leading Netflix series Another Life. Sci-fi has been a staple of her career. Aside from Starbuck though, her best known role is Bo-Katan Kryze from the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, The Mandalorian Season 2, and the upcoming third season, and possibly Ahsoka." Well, recently at Toronto's Fan Expo convention, Sackhoff held a panel talking about all of her different roles, but she spoke specifically at length about what it's like to play Bo-Katan and the shift she had to adjust to in order to portray her in live action. And she also spoke about the iconic Mandalorian armor that she wears and what it's like working with Grogu, because in Season 3, it's revealed that she will have much more screen time with the little green guy. The best thing about hearing Katee talk about Star Wars is it's very clear that it was always a dream job for her. In every sense of the word, she is a massive Star Wars fan first and foremost. Reminiscing at the Fan Expo, she recalls what it was like at the start of her career, saying that being in Star Wars was always a dream come true. She said when she moved to Los Angeles, she used to make the joke that if Star Wars called and asked her to play a rock, she would do it. She said she would literally take any role, so when Dave Filoni called her to play Bo-Katan, she was over the moon, but it was only meant to be for one episode of the Clone Wars. She recalls jumping out of her seat and not asking any questions. She was ecstatic. And Katee says the whole reason the character stayed for so long is because apparently she's based on Dave Filoni's wife, and that's obviously a character you can't kill off. And she jokingly says, so get used to her. And then she talks about what it was like bringing the character into live action in The Mandalorian Season 2. She first appears in Chapter 11, which is the third episode of Season 2, The Heiress, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, and Katee remembers being surprisingly comfortable. She says, "I didn't even need to do a backstory for Bo-Katan. I played her for so long, and I've talked to Dave Filoni ad nauseum about her backstory for years." She even teased the audience by saying, "I know things about her you would kill to know, about who this person is, what her life was like, what her childhood was like. I know all the stuff about her, so I didn't need to do a backstory." She remembers day one thinking they'd put her in a suit and she'd show up and just be Bo-Katan, but it was far more emotional. The first day there was the camera test, the makeup, the hair and the suit, but when she was all done up, both her and Dave were in tears, looking at Katee in the mirror and realizing this is what she looks like. But one thing needed adjusting, one thing was very off. It was the fact that for years Katee had only voiced the character. She says, when it came to the Mandalorian, she never asked herself, how does this character move? How does her face look like? Her mouth movements? How do you make the character consistent with the animation while also giving it a brand new depiction? She says, I move a lot, my face moves a lot, I needed to figure out how to live in her skin and I hadn't even thought about it before. And honestly guys, watching season 2 you would not know they had any issues. Katee is absolutely flawless, I loved her performance and I can't wait for season 3. Now speaking about Grogu, she is obsessed with the little guy, she has a very deep connection to him and compares it to dogs. She says, if a dog comes up to me, I have a very emotional connection to that dog. I have an emotional connection to Grogu because he reacts to what I'm saying, and of course it's all down to the sublime work of the puppeteers. There are 6 of them on set, and as a result, Katee is not the first cast member to say that Grogu is very lifelike. And as I said, in season 3, Bo-Katan and Grogu are going to have far more interactions than in season 2. Really awesome stuff, amazing insight into a fan favourite character, and a phenomenal actor. And so finally, my dear friends, speaking of the acting world, we have a new exclusive for the Acolyte. Jodie Turner-Smith is poised to join the show that begins filming in England in a couple of months. As with most casting updates, this comes from Deadline, and they say exclusive, Jodie Turner-Smith from Queen of Slim and Anne Boleyn is finalising a deal to join Amanda Stenberg in the upcoming Disney Plus series Star Wars The Acolyte. Now, as with a lot of these casting rumours, Lucasfilm declined to comment at this stage. So far, Stenberg, who's playing the lead, is the only confirmed cast member, although other rumours have emerged. Details about the characters, including the one played by Turner-Smith, are being kept heavily under wraps. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that takes viewers into the galaxy of the shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic. Turner-Smith, who garnered recognition with a starring turn in Queen and Slim, also starred as the title character in the miniseries Anne Boleyn. She will next be seen opposite Adam Driver in White Noise, which just premiered at the Venice Film Festival, opposite Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston in Netflix's Murder Mystery 2, as well as opposite Vince Vaughn in the Apple TV Plus series Bad Monkey. As I say, my dear Mandalorians, no details are known about the character she's playing in this show. And so finally guys, one last thing. Funko have revealed 2 new exclusive Star Wars Funkos that are going to be released for New York Comic Con. The first one is B2EMO from the Andor series looking amazing, and the second one is Anakin Skywalker from Attack of the Clones. Many of these new Funkos are very sleek, much more elegant and precise in their design compared to older ones. As you guys know, I'm a huge Funko fan, and I'm super excited for these, but also the ones exclusive to the Andor series when it comes out. And speaking of which guys, 2 weeks from today, the 3-episode premiere, episodes 1 to 3, as always, I will be giving you my full episode breakdowns and review. And so with that said, my dear friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.